Coming up on the MCTV Weekday Update, Texas Tech is starting to crack down on bikers who park their bikes anywhere other than a bike rack. We'll tell you what you need to know to keep from being ticketed.
Some Texas Tech students are leaving campus and heading to McWhorter Elementary. We'll tell you why.
The Tech soccer team finished up the season against the West Texas A&M Buffaloes on Thursday. They lost last year 1-0. Will they have better luck this year?
From the College of Mass Communications on the campus of Texas Tech University, this is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Trevor Miller.
And I'm Rachel Kuykendall. Texas Tech is cracking down on the problem of students parking their bikes in places other than bike racks. Ashley Etheridge takes a look at the reasons why and what students need to know to keep from getting ticketed.
Bikers may want to think twice before locking their set of wheels to anything that isn't a bike rack. University Parking Services is tightening their enforcement of where you can and cannot park a bicycle on the Texas Tech campus. If you violate this policy, your bike could be impounded and you could be charged a $50 fee just to get it back.
It is absolutely not meant to make the student's life harder at all. It is honestly a matter of safety and state regulations that we've got to comply with.
Incoming External Vice President of the Student Government Association, Tyler Patton, says the main reason for impounding bikes illegally parked is to prevent any safety hazards before they happen, especially to those with disabilities.
You have the largest campus in the country by square foot. That is definitely a challenge that we've got to be able to meet for those students.
Parking Services Public Relations Director Heather Medley says she has seen the challenges those students face on campus.
They use those handrails. They also, blind students use their sticks to see. And when they hit those bikes, I've seen one get their stick stuck in a spoke of a bike.
Medley says the university has to spend money that could be used for students to repaint or even replace guardrails and trees. Medley also says Parking Services charges an impound fee for a reason.
If we just impounded the bike and didn't charge a fee, it wouldn't really sting. It wouldn't have that stick. So I could go do it again and again and just have to come back and get my bike.
Both Medley and Patton say there are enough bike racks on campus, but more will be added around the Foreign Language Building, the new Business Administration Building, and the residence halls this summer. Medley says Parking Services are sending out tech announces and putting stickers on bikes to make students aware of the tighter policy.
If we can just get students educated, make sure they understand where you can and cannot park your bike, that makes everyone happy, parking's happy, students are happy.
Patton also encourages students to suggest any ideas they have to help SGA improve the Tech campus.
We can only make campus better for students if students are willing to be a part of that process.
From MCTV, I'm Ashley Etheridge.
Thanks, Ashley. The Innocence Project tries to clear the names of people who have been wrongly convicted of crimes. Texas Tech students work on the project and receive class credit for doing so. Participants say there's no greater feeling than to clear someone of a crime they never committed.
Getting somebody out of prison that doesn't need to be there, that has wasted, has had maybe 20 years of their life taken away from them, is not an experience that can even be described in words.
A parking garage is being built north of Jones AT&T Stadium, and there is already a waiting list of more than 4,000 students who are hoping to park in the garage next semester. The garage should eliminate at least some of the problems students have with parking on campus. Not only will the garage benefit Tech students parking for class, it will also benefit fans going to the football games. Associate Vice President of the Alumni Association, Bill Dean, says the new parking garage will be more than accommodating to tailgaters and their RVs.
The RV parking will have full hookups and everything, so they won't have to have their own generators and things like that.
The parking garage is expected to be open September 1st.
The federal government is taking over all student lending starting July 1st in hopes to save some money. While the government thinks the changes will save money, others have their doubts.
Many dispute that, and I'm one of them that disputes that there's going to be any savings by moving it to a direct loan program.
CEO of the Texas Tech Federal Credit Union, Ellen Hines, says she isn't surprised by the government's decision and the change will have a major impact on everyday business.
Lubbock residents went to the Texas AgriLife Research and Extension Center to learn how to conserve water more efficiently. Residents learned that even the length of their grass can help them conserve water. Sam Ing has more.
Lubbock residents came out to the Texas AgriLife Research and Extension Center to learn just how much water they waste and how they can help conserve it. At the conference, water resource specialist Billy Niffen demonstrated how different types of landscapes affect the environment and spoke about ways to harvest rainwater.
And so what we want to do is try to slow that water down and try to figure out how to capture rainwater and use it in the place of some of our aquifer water or some from our lakes. And so if we can do that and then change then the way that we do things by learning how to shut the water off and learn how to capture and use this water in its place, then we're going to extend the life of our aquifer as well as provide water for continued growth.
According to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, at least 36 states expect to face water shortage within the next 5 years. During his demonstration, Niffen says most grass used in home lawns are too short and do not provide a natural filter for the rain. Taller grasses have a more complex rooting system and serve as a better filter.
That demonstration was actually really cool because, you see that firsthand. You see that all the time, and just for the amount of runoff that happened for the hard-packed soil versus the grassy, deep-rooted soil was amazing. Actually, that multiplies into thousands of gallons in no time.
Lubbock County's integrated pest management agent Brant Ball says not only do Lubbock residents need to learn how to conserve rain, but need to know how to preserve the city water as well.
It's just like Billy said, we work real hard to get that water to run off our property as fast as we can, so then we can turn on the city tap and pay for water to irrigate our lawns.
For more information on how to conserve water, visit the Texas AgriLife Research and Extension Center's website. For MCTV, I'm Sam Ng.
Thanks, Sam. An assault on an elderly woman in the neighborhood known as Tech Terrace has some residents concerned with the large number of college students living in the area. Some residents in the neighborhood feel they are being taken over by students and Tech should help control the problem. While some residents are concerned, other residents are not and believe the assault has given their neighborhood a somewhat tarnished image.
I think there was a group of people that thought that they would somehow capitalize on this assault, inflame it, and try to turn this into a situation where it was almost anti-tech students. I think it made our neighborhood somewhat have a tarnished image.
More than 15,000 pets enter the Lubbock Animal Shelter every year, with only 20% making it out alive. Shelter Supervisor Sean Bird says tagging your animal is probably the most efficient way to keep your animal from ending up in the shelter.
Our main thing we try to encourage is tag your animals. Some kind, whether it's microchip, the little personal ID, something where if your animal does get out, we can get it home.
Bird says the shelter is moving to a prime location off the loop that holds more animals in hopes of increasing the adoption rate.
Still to come, we will take a look at the career fair that was held to help student athletes find a job.
And the Tech baseball team played Alabama A&M last week at Dan Law Field. Were they able to complete the series sweep against the Bulldogs?
Americans is struggling with hunger. Who's the 1 in 8 in your life? You can help today. Visit feedingamerica.org/1 in 8 to find your local food bank.
So, do you have any questions?
What is your soup of the day?
We have a mulligatawny soup.
Oh, do you have any specials?
We have a steak special today.
Oh, how's that cooked?
That's pan-seared and then...
Does it come with a side dish? Is it grilled? Can I have it steamed? So, what do you recommend? What kind of pie do you have?
You're an actor.
Aren't you from Ohio?
Any questions?
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Global warming is a problem.
It's a problem.
I wanted to do something to become more energy efficient.
To protect the environment.
To protect the future.
So I turned to Energy Star for help.
Energy Star is helping me be part of the solution.
Everyone can join the fight against global warming. Go to EnergyStar.gov to learn what you can do. Together,
we can all make a difference.
Welcome back to the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Alyssa Little.
And I'm Kym Helton. Texas Tech students in the physical education of children class were given the opportunity to get out of one classroom and into another. Students in the class went to McArthur Elementary to apply what they have learned and were given the opportunity to teach PE to elementary students. Trevor Miller takes a look.
Texas Tech students in the physical education of children class are getting a break from the classroom and are going to McArthur Elementary School. While at McArthur, the students in the class are teaching PE lessons to the elementary students. Texas Tech junior Roy Sanchez says the opportunity to teach actual elementary students is invaluable and is much more effective than sitting in the classroom learning how to teach out of a book.
It's really hard to just go to class and somebody tell you, oh, this is how it's going to be like, as opposed to now we're actually experiencing how it's really going to be.
Sanchez says Tech students teach elementary students the basic motor skills of the overall objective. Sanchez gave the example of striking. He says they teach students the basics of forehands and backhands, and then at the end of the class, they give students the opportunity to apply what they learned in an actual game of some sort. Former PE teacher and current professor of the physical education for children class, Jeff Key, says getting out of the classroom and going to McArthur Elementary is beneficial to both Tech students and the students at McArthur.
It's kind of a service learning type opportunity. I mean, it provides a service for the students here at McArthur Elementary, as well as giving our Texas Tech students the opportunity to be in front of kids.
Coach Key says students receive a peer evaluation from other students in the class and are required to write a 300-word reflection paper the night they teach the class. Key says the point of the paper is to allow students to look at what they did well as what they think they might do differently next time. Key says while most students do a very good job teaching and managing their class, that isn't always the case.
We see them fail sometimes, our Texas Tech students out there, but they learn from those challenges, and when they come back and teach another time, they have that much more experience and that confidence, hopefully, to do a better job the next time.
Reporting for MCTV, I'm Trevor Miller.
Thanks, Trevor. Graduation is right around the corner, and Texas Tech held the first annual career fair for its student athletes to help them find a job. Megan Wilbur has more.
Graduation is looming, and finding a job is the next step for many students. The first annual career fair for Texas Tech student athletes was an opportunity for players to meet with possible employers. The businesses in attendance were treated to a hearty meal before offering their advice to the student athletes. Justin Pasinger says the event will educate athletes about professional etiquette.
We're really excited to have all the companies out here give our student athletes resume advice, career advice, what educational paths they need, volunteer work. So just trying to give them as much exposure as we can before they enter the working world.
Some employers looking for job candidates even accepted resumes. Athletes asked questions about what companies are looking for and how to deal with getting a job in the recent recession. Businesses such as Lubbock Independent School District, Shears Foods, and the Lubbock Department of Police were all in attendance. Corporal Corey Nunley says he hopes to give students new information.
We want to talk to folks about the career path and maybe a career that maybe they haven't really considered before, but how it can serve them and how they can in turn serve the community.
I think just enthusiasm that, this is a big time in their life. They're getting ready to join the workforce, and you have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to show what you've got.
This event is particularly important for student athletes. Collegiate sports is time-consuming, and some students don't have time to be involved with career-related activities. Texas Tech golfer Matt Smith says athletics has both hindered and helped his resume.
Our school resume doesn't look as good as, say, a student, but I think it's an advantage being an athlete. That kind of another dimension companies can look for.
Other athletes say just talking to employees is good practice. The event doesn't guarantee a job, but it is educational.
A lot of athletes don't really get the experience in the work field and getting interviews and talking to people, and so I think it's just a good chance for us to just interact with people.
The event was only open to student athletes. However, future athletically sponsored career fairs will be open to the entire student body. With MCTV, I'm Megan Wilbur.
The Children's Advocacy Center of the South Plains hosted its annual Stand Up for Kids event, which aims to raise awareness of child abuse in the community. Most cases of child abuse involve family-related individuals who the child knows well and trusts. Forensic interviewer Mary Infante says last year the Advocacy Center saw more than 1,000 children who had been abused. Infante says of those 1,000 children, about 97% had been sexually abused.
Exercising is good for your health, but overexerting yourself while trying to reach fitness goals can be harmful. Amber Edwards takes a look at the fine line between not doing enough to stay in shape and doing too much.
Exercising is an ideal way to get in shape, but overtraining to reach goals can become an obstacle. Nutritionist and owner of Powerhouse Nutrition in Lubbock, Gary White, says people need to have guidelines for working out.
I think a lot of people are not doing enough in some regards.
You know, it's extremely essential that you find that balance, but talk to a professional that can guide them and to tell them.
Powerhouse Nutrition offers personal trainers and supplements to help consumers plan their exercise regimen. At the Athletic Training Center at Texas Tech, athletes use the track, field, and weight room to build their skills. Strength and conditioning coach at Tech, Katie Munger, says she struggles with overtraining.
Actually, I feel like I'm overdoing it a lot when I work out. One thing that we try to do, as a strength and conditioning coach, it's something that you're always kind of teetering with because you want to make sure that you're pushing yourself as hard as you can so that you can get better.
Tech soccer player and student trainer Megan Hoffert says she avoids overtraining by using a schedule.
Used to being an athlete, I'm used to like working hard at high intensities for a long duration, and I've kind of had to make sure I have a schedule and I take a day off, that I write on my schedule day off, so I don't work out.
Hoffert says people put themselves at risk by imitating athletic training programs.
I don't think they set, maybe they set a standard for other athletes, and people will look at athletes and see how they perform and try to mimic that and try to do their workouts.
For MCTV, I'm Amber Edwards.
Coming up after the break, Trevor looks at Tech's attempt to sweep Alabama A&M and how pitching got the job done.
And Bryce takes a look at the women's soccer team's last game against West Texas A&M and whether they are able to close out the season with a win.
You were the last to be born in a family of 7 brothers. That's why you had to sleep on the 7th bunk bed and you developed vertigo. And that's why you couldn't become a pilot and you had to study engineering. You patented 367 inventions, but only 3 made it to market. The Clap Clap Candle, the Lazy Runners, and the Frit and Go. That's why you don't have an apartment on the 16th floor, and you have it on the 5th. But that's where you met Carmen. After 237 dates, you finally proposed. With her, you had 3 children. The 4th ended up being a dog. It's not the same, but he adores you. Numbers change your life. That's why you should take control of your credit score by keeping your credit card balances low. For more tips, visit numberschangeyourlife.org.
Thanks. You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
Welcome back to our sports segment of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Bryce Whittle.
And I'm Amanda Bateman. The Tech baseball team was in action Thursday afternoon at Dan Law Field trying to complete the series sweep of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. The game was much different than the Red Raiders' 18-4 win on Wednesday. Trevor Miller has the highlights.
Britton Stewart got the start for the Red Raiders as they took on the Alabama A&M Bulldogs Thursday at Dan Law Field. Stewart gave up 2 hits in the first inning but strikes out Paulo Glotti to get out of the inning without giving up any runs. Stewart got plenty of help from his defense as you see shortstop Joey Kenworthy make a nice defensive play running in. First baseman Barrett Barnes making the catch and tagging out the runner. Tech struggled to put runs on the board and stranded 10 runners on base throughout the day. Tech third baseman Nick Popesky grounded into the inning-ending double play here, one of 3 inning-ending double plays for the Red Raiders. After a one-out single by Jamadrick Magruder that advanced Nick Popesky to third and Magruder to second on the throw to the plate, back-to-back groundouts by the Red Raiders ended the inning. The Red Raiders finally got on the board in the bottom of the 6th inning when Popesky redeemed himself with a 2 RBI single to left field. Prior to the 2 RBI single, the Red Raiders had left 6 runners in scoring position. Popesky drove in all 3 Tech runs on the day as he went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Here you see his RBI infield single. With 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, Tech pitcher Colt Ferreira gave up a hit to Bulldog third baseman Quincy Duarte. With a potential game-time run on deck, head coach of the Red Raiders, Dan Spencer, decided to make the call to the bullpen and bring in pitcher Chad Bettis to close out the game.
When we went to run ahead, I just wasn't going to let Colt face the tide and run to the plate. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat Chad.
The Bulldogs weren't able to do so as Bettis gets Stephen Wimpai to ground back to the mound for the final out of the ball game. With the win, Tech improved to 22-19 on the year. Here's what head coach Dan Spencer had to say after the game.
We need to be better. We need to be good offensively early. We were last night. We were at times against Oklahoma on this weekend. But we need to take a little pressure off that starter, too, that starting pitcher, and really execute offensively.
Hitting wasn't all there, but we got just enough. And Colt and I were able to throw enough strikes. The defense was there to play behind us. And got to win. That's all we can ask for right now.
Reporting for MCTV, I'm Trevor Miller.
Thanks, Trevor. Triathlon athletes overcame cold weather and completed the Collegiate National USAT Championship at Buffalo Springs Lake. There were some changes to the course due to weather. Megan Wilbur has the details.
Despite the 48-degree weather, athletes competed in the Collegiate National USAT Triathlon Championships this Saturday at Buffalo Springs Lake. Athletes ran, swam, and biked both a long and sprint course. Due to water temperature, the swim was cut in half. Both athletes and referees say the triathletes powered through the difficult conditions.
It went well. It was pretty cold. It was very windy. So it was brutal for sure. But it went fairly well as a whole.
Same thing, the swim got cut in half for everybody. So we have some strong members that are really good at the swim, but I think we have other people that can also make it up on the bike and run.
Everyone made every attempt to do right as far as following the rules out there, and the looks of determination on people who were clearly suffering a great deal and was pretty impressive. I really enjoy working the collegiate race. This is my 4th year of being their head referee, and every year it's just a great experience because they do such a great job and are so have such a great time.
They work hard and play hard too. The athletes attended the award ceremony that evening in the Lubbock Overton Hotel. The atmosphere was fun and festive. The competitive rivalry seemed to be replaced with costumes and camaraderie. Robert Reynolds says the celebration is a good way to blow off some steam.
We've all been working very hard for the entire school year. Everybody's been training twice a day, for some cases, and this is the culmination of our year and culmination of training, and it's finally time to let off some steam.
The award ceremony featured a band, the wave, and dancing athletes. Showered and sweat-free, the competitors celebrated their achievements. The race times were not slowed due to the bad weather. The bike time from the top male in 2009 was only 2 minutes faster than this year's top finisher. The satisfaction of winning the race was supplemented by the top finishers receiving $15,000 worth of prizes. Chris Kahula from Cal Poly won the male race. Kristen Kelleher, representing University of Virginia, won in the female division. In the overall team standings, the West Point women were victorious and the Colorado Bulldogs were number 1 for the men. The Texas Tech team finished in the middle of the pack for both men and women, 37th and 19th place respectively. With MCTV, I'm Megan Wilbur.
Thanks, Megan. The Tech women's soccer team finished up the season against West Texas A&M on Thursday. The Lady Raiders were trying to avenge a 1-0 loss from the year before. Bryce takes a look at the game and whether this year was different for the Lady Raiders.
Thursday night, fans flocked to the John Walker Soccer Stadium to watch the Texas Tech women's soccer team play the West Texas A&M Lady Buffaloes. Despite the tornado warning surrounding Lubbock, the starting whistle promptly blew at 7 p.m. This was the first spring home game for the Texas Tech women. They were victorious in Fort Worth last weekend against the SMU Mustangs. Freshman goalkeeper Aaron Wilkelius earned the start, while veteran goalkeeper Colleen Pitts was forced to watch the action from the sideline. Head coach Tom Stone has been gone for most of the spring season, traveling with the national team. He was able to coach the girls in the final spring game. The energy was high from the beginning, with passing combinations coming naturally for the players. Taylor Lytle says the performance was an improvement over the last season's loss to West Texas A&M.
It was actually a big improvement. Last year during preseason we lost to them 1-0, so it was nice to come out and beat them 4-1.
The start of the game was close. Both teams scored in the first 10 minutes. The Lady Raiders netted a goal before halftime and never looked back. They eventually celebrated 4 goals. Senior Casey McCall says they were determined to win.
It felt very, very good. We were determined that we weren't gonna, let that happen again, and so we just came out and played our hardest and worked well as a team together to get that win.
The West Texas Buffaloes and the Lady Raiders have been rivals for many years. They frequently battle in both spring and preseason games. The Raiders have won the last 3 of the 4 matches.
It's always good to end on a good note, a good win. So I think it just makes us more excited for the fall season.
Coach Tom Stone and Aaron Gordon will give the players some time off until summer workouts begin. The spring season, the Raiders were undefeated and will look to continue their goal-scoring streak this fall. With your MCTV Weekday Update, I'm Bryce Whittle.
We'll be right back.
After a car accident, Linda Davis needed CPR. Bill Hamilton needed temporary shelter when a fire destroyed his home. During an operation, Haley Reynolds needed a blood transfusion.
Excuse me, may I go into that room, please?
Next year, revenue growth again will be a focus.
Thank you for giving me blood.
Thank you for giving me shelter.
Thank you for saving my life.
Support the Red Cross and change a life, starting with your own.
I got no pulse, we're losing him.
Charging. He's in VFib.
Shock him.
Drives it around all the time. Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
You just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right, this isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shock him.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I've done nothing. Uh-oh. Okay, I stole a cheeseburger once. How my dog?
Welcome back to the MCTV Weekday Update. Well, Rachel, it's been quite a semester, hasn't it?
Oh, it really has. I can't believe it's already over.
I know, it's gone by too fast. It seems just like 4 years ago I was nervous about going to my first class, and here we are fixing to graduate.
I know. It seems like just 2 years ago we started working on these broadcast projects, and now here we are.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, do you have any plans for the summer before you start working, or, I mean, straight into the job market?
Oh, well, I just got to find a job first, so straight into the job market, but I'm excited. What about you?
I was same here, looking for a job, do a little job hunting, and hopefully take a vacation somewhere. So.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, but we wanted to thank you so much for tuning in with us throughout the semester.
We hope everyone enjoyed the Weekday Update throughout the semester. We hope you have a great summer, and we will see you in the fall.